All right, welcome into the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series at Michigan International Speedway. So basically, it's a giant D oval shaped, a D shaped oval rather, and these cars will carry a lot of speed down these straightaways, especially the back straightaway where it's nice and long and straight for these guys. The front straightaway, they'll be carrying high speeds there, but not as high as what you'll see on that back stretch. So, a little bit of information here about Michigan. Well, obviously, it is a 2-mile D-shaped speedway in the rolling hills of Michigan. Looking at the banking, it's 18 degrees of banking in the turns, 12 degrees on your front straightaway, and your back stretch is just a 5 degrees of banking there. So as we as we get ready for qualifying here in just about 10 minutes, some more stuff, more information about the track. It was opened in September of 1967. And obviously, you got the Fire Keepers Casino 400 and the Consumers Energy 400 that the Cup Series runs here twice a year. Xfinity cars run here once a year, as well as the Truck Series and the ARCA Menard Series. They all run here with the current name being Michigan International Speedway. It used to be called the Michigan Speedway from 1996 all the way until 2000, and then it went back to Michigan International Speedway. So as we jump in here, let's go and see here. May be able to get Taver up here in to the broadcast booth with us. Just a matter of seeing. So we'll be right back. We'll see if we can get Taver in here to talk with us momentarily.
Sounds good. I'll get some stuff pulled up so I got some accurate information.
All right, we got Taver Mowry here, and Taver, this is our last race before the playoffs start next week. We're gonna have 16 drivers, correct? 16 guys going after the championship here.
Yeah, it's 16. So we've had, I think, 6 race winners. So there's really only 10 spots. Luckily, those race winners are still in the top 16 for points. So top 16 points are in.
Yeah, and so now we'll talk a little bit about it, because looking at the schedule, and give me a second to pull the schedule up here. You might already have it up, but with the schedule, we're at Michigan tonight. We've only got 4 weeks remaining in this season, so are we cutting drivers down each week, or how's that going to play out?
So each week, the race winner, say we go to Talladega next week, the race winner at Talladega will get an instant bid to Atlanta. Then we will take away the 4 drivers who finished the least in points, and so that would leave us with 12 drivers next week. Not next week, but the week after that. Then down to 8, then down to 4. Race winners advance to Atlanta, so technically there would only be one person getting in on points if there was a different race winner each week. So points are important, but also the win is important, so it's kind of a hybrid system. Another thing I want to point out too is that we kind of also did another hybrid system to where we will wipe out the regular season points, but the number 1 spot will get 16 points, 2 will get 15 points, 3 would get 14 points, and down sowards all the way to 16 gets 1 point. So it's going to be interesting. So just because you're in first place does not mean you're kind of home free.
Yeah, and so basically what I'm gathering here, just to kind of make it a little simpler for people, especially because I have issues understanding things. Because, anyways, so basically what you're doing is you're essentially doing the round of 8 that the NASCAR does,
Yep.
where they whittle it down to the final 4 drivers for the final race. But you're doing it with 16 drivers and eliminating 4 drivers each week until you get down to the final 4 at Atlanta here, first part of next month.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Simple, easy, not so technical terms there. But
yeah, I just wanted to describe it so everybody kind of got to get an idea.
Yeah, no.
A little bit more. I'm not really good at simpling things down too well, especially when it comes to this. And
yeah, no, perfect. And this way we have a best of both ways. That way, you got it dumbed down for me, and then you've got it spelled out for everybody else that can understand it.
Yeah. I know there's some drivers right now. Looking at the points, let me look at them real quick. There are 2 drivers in the field tonight that I believe have to get a win in order to get into the playoffs, and I believe those 2 drivers are Brian Kozad and Bob Johnson. There's a couple other people that are on the outside looking in. Dale Duke is only 9 points away from the 16th spot. Logan, the 888 car, is only 20 points out. Daniel Rose is 21 points out, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and so tonight, I mean, and you get 43 points for the win here. So, I mean, theoretically, if one of these guys that are not locked in, has a bad race, and you get
they could potentially drop out.
Yeah, and you get somebody like Brian or even Donnie down there, and James, if they manage to pick up the win here, that completely shakes up the points going into next week and changes the drivers that are in that chase.
Yeah, they really changed it dramatically, and that's what I like. Everybody in the series is really amped up for this race because it's, as much as things look like they're settled, they're not settled as much as people think.
Exactly. All right, well, Taylor, I'm going to let you go out and fine-tune your setup here. Get ready for the race. You got about 2 minutes left. Good luck, and hopefully you're in one of the 3 spots tonight for the caution, and we'll talk to you. Hopefully we're talking to you during the cautions or after the race.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right, so there you have it. Final race before the chase. I mean, theoretically, minus the guys who have locked in 7 drivers have locked in. So that leaves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That leaves us 17 drivers vying for the rest of the playoff spots, and anything can happen. I mean, obviously, drivers like John Neidick, Taver Mowry, Adam Malshire, and Travis Eccles, pretty securely locked in, having almost a good 100 points over everybody else. So they're kind of locked. Mathematically, they're locked in. I think the drivers who could be in danger here is Jason Ricketts and Corey Wakefield. So, and I'm not seeing Corey Wakefield in the session. Yes, he is. Corey Wakefield is here. Jason Ricketts is here. So all these drivers that are battling for the playoff is here. So it's going to be a very strong, very interesting night tonight as we get set here to go. And you see the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle going out for his qualifying effort now, starting lap number 1. Van Sprundle has looked very good the last few weeks. And I do believe he is one of the drivers that is... yes, Van Sprundle is high enough up into the points, has enough of a points gap to where he is pretty well safe for the... the chase here. So as he starts lap number 1, we'll see what he gets done on this 2-mile oval. We're going to see lap times in the high, right around the mid to high 39s, I believe, here for qualifying. You would think they were running very low 39s, very high 38s in practice. So we'll see what these guys can get done here in qualifying. As Van Sprundle comes to complete lap 1, you see he ducks down there onto the apron, uses the shortest way through that front stretch, and he runs a 38.964. So quicker than I expected. AJ Green goes quicker. We're going to go and we'll check in with Taver Mowry in the 22. AJ Green, 38.931. Pete Van Sprundle, 38.964. Joe Neidick, a 38.968. Austin Bloom, a 38.972. Taver Mowry comes to complete lap number 1 there. Starts lap number 2. He's going to sit 11th quick with a 40.195. Go and check out, mentioned Del Duke. Duke is out now in his number 18 Snickers machine. As Duke is right there on the bubble, he is sitting 9 points back of Austin Bloom, who secures the 16th spot, but Austin has a win. So he is sitting 15 points back of Jason Ricketts and 17 back of the Corey Wakefield. So as he starts lap number 1, we'll see what he can get done here. Update on Taver Mowry. He goes quicker with a 39.09 on his second lap there. And Bob Johnson out now. He ran a 39.31 on lap number 1. Christopher Buds ran a 39.36 on lap 1. So as Del Duke comes to complete lap 1, start of lap number 2, he ran a 39.705 for lap number 1. Go and watch Corey Wakefield. He's another one of those bubble drivers. He completed his 2 laps, so we will not be able to watch him. Go watch the 25. of Williams there. As Williams comes to complete lap number 1 for him. And Williams starting lap number 1. Going and looking now. John Neidick in the 33 machine. He just threw down his first lap with a 38.972. We'll see if John pick up some lap times there and improve over where he was at on that first lap. So for lap number 2, John Neidick improves his lap time with a 38.950. That's going to complete qualifying here. So your top 5 from qualifying was AJ Green, Doug Erickson, John Neidick, Colin Forrester, Robert Ramsey, with Pete Van Sprundle, Joe Neidick, Austin Bloom, Brian Hazard, and Michael Pimpare rounding out the top 10 here very early on. So we'll go through the running order here. It's going to be Green and Erickson your front row, Neidick and Forster in your second row. In your third row, it's going to be Ramsey and Van Sprundle. Then you're going to have Joe Neidick and Austin Bloom back there in that fourth row. Then you're going to have Brian Cozard and the 20 of Michael Pimpare in that fifth row. Phil Stanart and the 11 of Adam Alshire be in that sixth row. Taver Mowry and Lance Hill will be in the seventh row. That's 13th and 14th there. Then you're going to have the 1 of Jason Ricketts and the 18 of Del Duke in that eighth row. You have the 76 of Bob Johnson and the 28 of Christopher Buds be in that ninth row there. And you'll have Ricky Williams and Logan Rettmeyer in that, that'd be the 10th row there, 19th and 20th. Then you're going to have Corey Wakefield and Travis Eccles rounding out the field. 22 cars. 22 drivers scheduled to start here this evening. So, as we get set to go here, it looks like Williams and Ramsey will not make the grid. So, looks like Ramsey will attempt to start from pit road. So as we get ready to start this race, we're going to have one to go here. We'll get ready to go racing here. The final race before the playoffs. So we're going to see a lot more of aggressive driving here this evening from these guys, especially the guys on the outside looking in. So do not be surprised if we see these guys weaving and waving and really pushing each other to the limits to try to advance their positions here tonight. pace car pulls off down pit road. The green flag in the air for AJ Green. He gets out to the early lead over Doug Erickson. And you can see the first 10 cars really breaking away from 11th and 12th. That was Adam Alshire back there and Taver Mowry as they've kind of slowed up. And you see Michael Pimper, he's falling back just a little bit. And he's going to catch, those guys are going to catch him, and they're really going to be able to push forward and try to capture the lead group very early on. Austin Bloom in the 3 car there, right in front of the 4 of Phil Stanart. The racing order is going to shake up quite a bit here on that first lap. Brian Cosard, he goes up to the 7th spot there. Pete Vance Brundle, he sticks where he started. The big mover there on that first lap is the 24 of Joe Neidick. Neidick really pushing forward, trying to get up to the front here very fast. You got the 33 of John Neidick. He's going to be out front now as he got around the 07 of AJ Green, and now here comes Joe. Joe up to the inside of the 07 of Green. And now you're going to see the 9 try to get around him as well. Looking a little bit further back now, we're going to go back to Lance Hill. He was trying to fend off, or trying to get around Michael Pimper rather, and not going to come to fruition. Down the back straightaway, he makes it happen on the front though, so put Lance Hill up into the 11th spot. Taver Mowry, he started in the 13th spot. He's running 13th, not really moving around a whole lot. Looking for another battle. We're going to go back to Ricketts in the 1. Brett Meyer in the 888. Brett Meyer drives around the outside of Ricketts, and he's going to try to bring Bob Johnson with him. But you got Ricketts fighting hard on that low side. Go up here to Colin Forster as he got around AJ Green that last time to move up into the 3rd spot. You got Pete Vance Brundle trying to hold off the 46 of Doug Erickson. Erickson looks very strong on that high side. He's got Austin Bloom almost following in his wake there. As Bloom moves down to follow Pete Vance Brundle. The outside at this track is very strong. You keep a lot of your momentum up through these corners, so you're able to really power around people on the straightaways. As you see there, you see the 46 just get around Vance Brundle through that turn. And a lot of it is because he kept up the momentum down the straightaways and into the turn. Looking now back here to the 87 of Cosard. Cosard trying to fend off the 6 of Lance Hill. That is for 10th spot. You see Adam Alshire in the 11, right in front of these guys. So that is 9th, 10th, and 11th place on the track. And Hill gets it that time. Taver Mowry in the 22. He's trying to come up. He's moved up 1 spot from where he started. He's running in the 12th spot. He got around Bob Johnson there. And now he sets his sights on the 87 of Brian Cosard. With the 76 of Johnson. Drives it in there deep. He gets back around. Mowry take back over the 12th spot. This is a big battle here. You see you got the 6th and the 11th. That's 9th and 10th. And you go all the way back here to Taver Mowry, who's 13th on the track. And this big group right here is really putting on a good show very early on. You look back here at Michael Pimper in the 20. He gets around Jason Ricketts in the 1. Now he sets his sights on Logan Rettmeyer in the 88. Trying to get around him. That should be for the 14th position there. And it is. Timing and scoring updated. Go check on Dale Duke now, as Duke is running right in front of Corey Wakefield. Those two are essentially in a battle for the points. Wakefield could fall out. Duke could jump in, as this is the last race. We've only got 80 laps here tonight, and we're already coming to lap number 10 here very early on. We go and we look ahead now to Joe Neidick and John Neidick out here leading the field. First and second, Colin Forster under attack now from the 07 of AJ Green. Green gets underneath of him and gets around him very early on. And now Forster drives back around him. Erickson drives back around him. Those two cars are very strong on that high side. As we look back now to Phil Stanhart in that 4 and the 87 of Brian Cozard. And then you've got the 6 of Lance Hill there. Cozard gets around Stanhart and Hill. So that'll put Cozard up into the 8th spot. And now he's got Adam Alshire. This is the group we were watching before we went back up to the front. It skipped around a little bit. This is that group that was 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. It's kind of slimmed down. It's 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. And you got 12th in there too. So it's stayed the same, but it's really it's kind of moving up the leaderboard here. We moved up a spot, and you see that inside line forming now. If they could get hooked up, the draft will play an important part here. Not as important as what you see at Daytona and Talladega. We'll be at Talladega next week, but it does play an important part. If you can get 3 or 4 cars driving together, it's going to break up the air, and you're going to see lines start moving. And a lot of these guys are using that high side, keeping the momentum up, and really using that the speed difference that they're going to be able to keep throughout the track. So we go back now and look here. As you see the 76 of Bob Johnson trying to get around the 22 of Taver Mowry. Michael Pimper and Jason Ricketts are there. And you see Bob Johnson get out of shape, saves it, does a fantastic job there. So, up front now, Joe Neidick, Colin Forster, John Neidick, Doug Erickson, AJ Green is your top 5. Bloom, Vance Brundle, Cozard, Alshire, and Stanhart round out your top 10. Mowry, Hill, Ricketts, Pimper, and Eccles round out the top 15 there. And then you have Duke, Rettmeyer, Johnson, Wakefield, Buds, and Ramsey rounding out the field. So we go and we look here at the 76 of Bob Johnson. He spun earlier. Now he's kind of he's allowed Del Duke to kind of open up some ground over Corey Wakefield. We talked about earlier, those two are in a battle for the race or the chase spot. And Jason Ricketts as well. Del Duke could really really come in and shake up the points, knock those two drivers down. And looking at the points here, Logan Rettmeyer and Daniel Rose still have a mathematical shot to do it. It's going to take Rose to win. It's also going to take Kaiser to win. Donnie Large and James Large, they are not here. But it'll take Brian Kaiser and Bob Johnson to win to get in. And Rose, Rettmeyer, and Duke still have a shot to make it in on points. Looking now back up front as the battles are still waging. AJ Green now. He got around Forster as Doug Erickson takes over the lead. John Neidick, AJ Green, Colin Forster are the top five. But this battle here, third through, goes all the way back to seventh there, with Austin Bloom in the seventh position. These guys could hook up. They could go and chase down those top two drivers and really get around them. And you see Vance Brundle looking to the inside of AJ Green. She gets around Colin Forster this last lap. Looking a little bit further back now, Alshire and Mowry, they're kind of separating now. So this was that battle. It was 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. It's really spread out now. Going back here to the 72 of Eccles, he loses his spot to Rettmeyer. So that helps Rettmeyer as Wakefield is falling back. Rettmeyer is going forward. If he can get around Ricketts now and put him and Del Duke in a very good spot to really race their way into the chase here tonight. And we'll try very quickly after the race to try to just get the updated point standings out to you so that you know who made the chase, as we're quickly moving in on a quarter of the way through this race. And you see now Travis Eccles working to the inside of Rettmeyer. Eccles is going to take that position back. Here we go. When we look, it looks like the 33 of Neidick jumping down pit road here very early, 20 laps in. So very strange that he ducked down pit road. You'd think he could go at least 10 more laps, unless he's trying to short pit all these guys and set himself up for a good spot. And I mean, technically, if you think about it, if you reverse it, right? Theoretically, you're supposed to be able to do 30 laps, on a tank of fuel and tires, unless Neidick had an issue. But if this is his strategy, it's going to work out to his benefit. Because if you like on-road racing, if you work your way back from the start, 30, so that will take you down to lap 50, you need to pit. And you take another 30, that's going to be lap 20. And Neidick pitted, and he's back out on the track. So I think that's his strategy. And I don't know how it's going to work for him, but the attempt that he is making, I mean, he's all but locked himself in with the win, or with a win. And let me double check that he has not won. I know one of the Neidicks has, and it was Joe. John is sitting second in points right now to Colin Forster. So he is mathematically locked in. Why not take a gamble this race and see if strategy can play to get you a win here on the final race of the season? You could potentially, he is just 9 points back of Colin Forster. You could potentially get the regular season championship as well. he led a few laps earlier, so that'd be a bonus point. As we continue here, we're going to skedaddle back through the field. We go back and we look at Bloom. He got around the 07 of AJ Green, so put Austin Bloom up into the top 5. And I believe that is the first time today that Bloom has been inside that top 5. He started 8th and he's ran 6th through 8th pretty much the whole time. Looking further back now. A little bit further back. We'll go and check in with Taver Mowry. As he's trying to chase down Adam Alshire, but Lance Hill in the 6th trying to chase him down. So we could theoretically see a big battle coming on 8th through 10th right there. Trying to find a good battle for us to go and watch. Christopher Buds. We have not talked about Mr. Buds all day. He's running the 28 Havoline car, and he is trying to get around Bob Johnson and Corey Wakefield. And you see Corey Wakefield has some damage there on that right-hand side, getting up into the wall, so that will hurt him as the race goes on. And you see Buds, he lost 2 spots that lap. Check in with Robert Ramsey in the 19. He started on pit road. You remember correctly. Pretty sure, yes, he did. He did start on pit road. He's moved up to the 14th spot. So, you have quite a few guys shuffling around right now. The big mover that I can see, it would be Travis Eccles, started 22nd up to 15th. So that's 7 spots. Next would be Brett Meyer. He's up 4. Or no, Joe Neidick would be next. He's up 5. And then Brett Meyer. And you see Ramsey working to try to get around Pimper in the 20. Going back up to the 80 of Pete Vance Brundle. And you see Colin Forrester right there on the back bumper of him, trying to get something done. And Forrester has to really be careful. Because if he makes a mistake, that's going to open the door, and we're going to have a caution. If you look there, the 888 and the 76, that's what you saw out of the front windshield of the one of Jason Ricketts. Watching here, and you see he goes to go around and he just tags that wall. There wasn't much for him to do there. So as we go to give these guys a little bit of time to pit and then come out, and then we'll go in for interviews with drivers. And you see the 16, and we're going to rewind that. We're going to watch that from on board there. And it looks like he thought that the 888 was going faster than what he was, and just didn't have nowhere to go. Very unfortunate. As these guys finish up their pit stops here. We're going to attempt to get one of these drivers in here to talk to him. We'll be right back. All right, and we've got Colin Forrester with us. Colin, you've ran up front all day here so far. You started fourth. You're currently in the fourth spot. You feel like you got something for these top guys, or are you just hanging on, trying to make it to the chase here?
I definitely think I got something for him. I was just kind of right in there. I thought I could get past Joe, but he got super loose on the bottom that one time.
Yeah, and you got 50 laps remaining, 51 laps remaining, so still a long way to go. And we'll let you go and get ready for this restart. Have fun and good luck, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, there we go. That was Colin Forrester running in the fourth spot. It's going to be Eccles, Erickson, Neidig, Joe Neidig, Forster, Van Sprundle, Bloom, Green, Cozard, Alshire, Mowry, Stannard, Hill, Ramsey, Duke, Buds, Pimper, Ricketts, Johnson, John Neidig, Rettmeyer, and Wakefield. Your running order with Wakefield being a lap down off the track. Very unfortunate for him. As the green flag's back out in the air for Travis Eccles. He stayed out there. And right around lap 30, I mean, obviously there was a caution, but it really looked like a couple of these drivers were going to start pulling down and start going pit road there. As everything is really shook up with that there. Looking at the 11, that is Adam Alshire. Go on board here, watch him try to maneuver through traffic. He's got Tabor Mowry right behind him. This is Alshire in the 8th spot there, following the 07 of AJ Green, sliding up the track, which is very strange because these tires are fresh. They're brand new. So they should have a lot of grip, but Michigan is a very aggressive track on tires. That's why we usually see right around lap 30 these guys pitting, but they shouldn't be sliding up that much through the corners already. So we'll watch these guys and see exactly what is going on with them here. Maybe you see he's trying to get around. That is the 6 of Lance Green. That is Adam Alshire trying to get around Lance Hill. Not Lance Green. AJ Green in front of him in the 07. AJ got around the 87 of Cozard, and there's going to be another caution. This one looks very bad. And we're going to go on board with it. This is Joe Neidig in the 24. The back bumper gets tapped. He gets loose, gets up into the wall, and we go spinning. So it looked bad. We're going to rewind it and give you, I mean, you kind of caught a glimpse of it in live action there. Yeah, it looks like that was the 87. So let's go take a look at the 87 here. That should be Brian Cosard. And that's very unfortunate for Cosard. This early. And it's very unfortunate for Joe Neidig. Those guys, a couple hard hits there. Obviously, you had Neidig up into the outside wall, and then you had Cosard just coming along with nowhere to go and just destroy that 24 of Joe Neidig. So let's take a quick break and get our let's get a driver in here for a caution interview, and we'll be right back. All right, we got AJ Green here. AJ, I don't know if you saw that last accident, but man, oh man, you were right there in the thick of it, and things could have went horribly wrong for you here very early in the race.
Yeah, I saw Pete and Pete and Joe get into it, and I called it out. Went down. I saw Joe go down a little, and then he went back up. So I was like, yes.
Yeah. So you think you got something up there for Colin and Doug, or are you just going to ride around and just save it out and make it go into the chase here and try to...
I could get him in the long run, probably.
All right. Well, there we have it. So, all right. Well, AJ, we thank you for your time, buddy. We'll let you go and get ready for this restart. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you.
All right, well, there you go. That was AJ Green. He's currently sitting in fourth here. We get set here to go. Back to green flag racing. And the green's back out for Doug Erickson. As Doug is trying to get out there in front of Colin Forster. Those Those two are still side by side through 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Forrester has the edge going into 3 and 4. Ericsson battling back on the inside. And we'll see who has the advantage at the line. Right now it's just a tenth of a second to Colin Forrester as Forrester gets the spot down the straightaway with AJ Green kind of giving him a little shove out to the front there. Looking a little bit further back now here to Alshire. Adam Alshire in the 11 as Lance Hill gets around him. That is for the 6th spot. Hill trying to get back around Taver Mowry. Mowry up into the top 5 for the first time here this evening. As Alshire loses some spots. Ericsson is going the wrong way here as he is falling back now to what will be the 6th spot. So he gets passed by the 6th of Lance Hill. Looking, the strategy for John Neidick really paid off because, I mean, he pitted on lap 30, got some fresh tires and whatnot. After pitting on lap 20, but it's really a huge game changer for that 33 of John Neidick. He's up into the 16th spot now after being a lap down for a majority. Well until that last caution there at lap 30. He's going around Christopher Buds, and now he's working on the 24 of Joe Neidick. So John and Joe both have very fast cars, and we're going to have a caution here. And that is not what you like to see. We're going to stay on board. Or we're going to go on board. With, let's go on board with the 46 of Ericsson. Ericsson was involved. Using the roll bar cam here. And now, let's go on board here. We're going to go on board and watch the 33 car. This is John Neidick's onboard camera. You see it happening ahead of you, and he goes down to the bottom side, and at the last second, that is the 888 of Rettmeyer coming in on the last second. So everybody's going to duck down pit road here, but the 9 of Colin Forrester. Forrester staying out. We'll wait for these guys to get out of pit lane, and then we will we'll get one of them for an interview unless we have enough drivers stay out. Then we'll pick one of them for an interview real quick. And but I think we're not going to have enough for an interview. So we'll have to wait for these guys to get back out pit road. It's going to be Forrester, Buds, and 16 of Wakefield is a lap down. It's going to be Forrester and Buds, your first 2 cars out. Or first 2 cars in line. So we await. It could potentially be Austin Bloom. No, it is going to be the 07 of AJ Green. It's going to be your 3rd place car. Yes. And then you're going to have the 3 of Austin Bloom. It's going to be your 4th place car. So we'll be right back. We'll be right back for a post race or a caution interview with Austin Bloom, hopefully. All right, we got Phil Stanart here. Phil, you're a little bit further back than normal, sitting back there in the 11th spot, but look good here early on. Been up into the middle of the pack and really battling out with these guys all day.
Yeah, thank you. I'm not the greatest at saving tires. I'm good for about 5 laps, and I start dropping off. Pretty soon I'm going to start to conserve tires a little bit and try to hang up there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, good luck with saving tires, Phil, and good luck the rest of the way, and hopefully we can talk to you after this race, buddy.
All right, man. Yeah, I'll see you on the podium. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Pace car is off. And we're green. Colin Forster, the race leader. We have 37 laps to go. He pitted 16 laps ago. So put him right at the first caution of the evening when Forster and Buds both pitted. As we go and look at Stanart in that 4 car, he's right back there in the 11th position, working, getting around Taver Mowry and the 20 of that is the 20 is drawing a blank here. Michael Pemper. You see the 19 of Robert Ramsey up in front of these guys. So looking at the updated scoring position, Stanart stays in 11th, Ramsey up to 9th. AJ Green takes over the top spot from Colin Forrester. AJ Green has been very strong this season. Out there leading laps, battling for the lead, and now you've got Austin Bloom coming up there as well. He was very strong a few weeks ago and had some unfortunate luck and really not a good day. But Bloom has bounced back. He's running second with Brian Cozard. Cozard trying to make the most of it. You heard Taver Mowry talk before the race, said that Brian had to win the race to make the playoffs. He's up there in third. You saw earlier he got into the 24 of Joe Neidick when Joe had spun, and it was heavy contact. And Cozard has bounced back up into the third position, trying to hold off the 11 of Adam Alshire and the 46 of Doug Erickson. Erickson has been strong all day as well. Started up there in the second spot. He's been up there pretty much the whole night. And now Alshire looking to the outside of Cozard for the third spot, and he takes it out of turn 2. Now trying to take over the second spot from either AJ Green or Austin Bloom. You see Bloom using the bottom side. That's going to allow that top side to really power around him. And that's going to put Alshire up into the second spot now. The 46 of Erickson working back inside the top 5. He dropped out there momentarily, and he's back. He's working around the outside of the 3 of Austin Bloom. Brian Cozard definitely needs to have a win here to make the playoffs. Taver Mowry, he's safe. He's got quite a few points separating him and the drivers who are still battling for position. So it looks like Lance Hill ducking down pit road early. Might be a strategy play for Lance Hill there. So we have 32 laps to go. He might feel he can make it on fuel. Everybody's on fresh tires, with the exception of Wakefield, Buds, and Forrester. They have 21 laps on these tires. Everybody else has 8 or fewer, or 9 or fewer now, as we're going to have a caution. Looking at it, looks like the 24 just comes up and tags the 18. Then the 24 gets into the outside wall. And very unfortunate for him. That is the second time tonight he's been involved in an incident. We saw the one earlier where he bounced hard off the outside wall. And here we are again with another tough accident for him. Lance Hill will get the lucky dog here. He will go back on the lead lap. Everybody ducking down pit road. Vance Brundle, and yeah, Vance Brundle staying out. Pete Vance Brundle. He's on the lead lap. He's going to take over the race lead here with 30 to go. So now this changes from a like an endurance race to a more of a sprint now. 30 laps to go. Barring any cautions, we shouldn't see another round of pit stops. These guys should be able to knock this final 30 laps out. And we're going to go see who we have on tap. Now we can interview. We're going to look to see if we can get Doug Erickson. And yes, we do have Doug Erickson in the 46. We'll be right back, and we'll have Doug Erickson in here for an interview. All right, couldn't reach Doug Erickson in time. Having a little bit of a issue there. So we get ready to go back to green here. Van Sprundle will be your race leader. Forster will be in second. He had a very quick pit stop, 9.2 seconds. Logan Rettmeyer had a 5.6 second, and Phil Stanard had a 9.9 second pit stop. So, Van Sprundle on the same tires. Rettmeyer still on the same tires. I think he may have just went in and topped off for fuel. Pace car is down pit road. Green flag back on the air for Pete Van Sprundle. And he gets out to an early lead over Forster here. Very early in this run. We're going to try to make it the final 28 laps here under green. We got the 07 of AJ Green out front now. And Forster and Green battling hard for this top spot. Throw in Adam Alshire. He's up there as well. We have 27 laps to go. Alshire trying to work to the inside of Colin Forster for the second spot there. Those two are battling hard for the second spot. Forster takes it back down the back straightaway, and now the 80 of Van Sprundle trying to fend off the 3 of Bloom and the 46 of Erickson. We've seen Doug Erickson be strong all day long. Been up front, been inside the top 10, and really making it difficult on these guys that are inside the top 5, top 10. As you see, he gets around Pete Van Sprundle to take over the 5th spot. Go on board with him here as he's trying to work to the inside of the 11 of Adam Alshire. As this is Pete Van Sprundle. He loses a couple of spots there. Go on board with Erickson here in the 46, back up to 3rd. Trying to chase down the 07 of AJ Green. You can really see how the draft plays an effect in these cars at Michigan. And now he goes to the low side there. They're going to be 3 wide for second, almost pushing 4 wide for first. We have 24 laps remaining. Brian Cozard in the 87. He's going to push it 3 wide, and there's going to be a huge issue up front. Don't look down, but look who's back up front. The 33 of John Neidick. He went from 7th to 1st that lap. This caution comes out. We'll go back and see what happened there. Still part of that big issue we saw on the back straightaway. And that's Bob Johnson who gets the unfortunate side of it. Looking now, let's see here. It's saying that the 24 of Joe Neidick is in 10th place. We'll wait for Then across start finish line to update running positions. And we'll get one of these drivers in here for a post-race interview. Or not a post-race interview, a caution interview, rather. All right. Looks like it's going to be the 80 of Pete Van Sprundle. We'll be right back. We bring in Pete Van Sprundle. Let's double check that we can bring in Pete Van Sprundle. I'm not sure that he is here in our lobby to talk to. And Van Sprundle, I'm not seeing him. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back. And we'll get set here for the final 22 laps. Try to get one of these drivers in here for an interview. All right, we got Joe Nidick here. And Joe, you had some tough luck earlier, and you're trying to bounce back now, and you look like you've got it figured out as you're moving up the racetrack here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself back to the front pretty early. I think me and the 46 were pretty much the class of the field, walking on them, and I think the 80 kind of slid up into me, but it is what it is. But I'm going to see if I can't run her back to the front here and at least salvage a good one out of this one.
You get up there and take the win from John there.
There you go.
All right, Joe. Thanks for your time, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way, and have a good rest of the race.
Thank you.
All right, there we go. That was Joe Nidick. He is up into the 10th spot after those two incidents earlier. He's trying to get back up front here. You heard it. John Nidick leading the race over Adam Alshire. Those are your top two. And then you've got Doug Erickson. Doug has been, and you heard Joe say it, he was class of the field earlier, and he's back up there. As the green flag is back out in the air for John Nidick. Trying to take over that top spot. You see John maintaining the lead. He's going to fend off Adam Alshire there. And the 46 of Doug Erickson. Looking a little bit further back, let's go check in with Joe Nidick. We just talked to him. As you see, Corey Wakefield back on the lead lap. He's up into the 11th spot. Brian Cosard is in 13th. Logan Rettmeyer is in 12th. Scratch that. Cosard is in 12th. Rettmeyer in 14th. Bob Johnson is 19th. As those guys were a couple of the ones that we were really looking at early. They really had a shot to shake up the point standings going into the chase here. as you see Neidig move around the 18 and then slide up in front of him. And now he goes back to the bottom as he's in a logjam right there. Wakefield and Van Sprundle really don't have, Wakefield and Cozard get around, and now the 20 up Pimper, he gets around. You see the 28, that is Christopher Buds on the low side there. Go back up front here. You see the 33 of John Neidig with 18 to go, leading the race. He's starting to stretch out a little bit. The best thing for him is he's got about a 2/10 of a second gap. Best thing for John here is for this race to stay green and him just keep doing what he's been doing here in these last 5 or 6 laps that we've been green. And even the few right before we had that caution, so he went from 7th to 1st in a lap. You look back now to the 9 of Colin Forster working to the inside of AJ Green. Forster lost a spot, lost 2 spots to that lap. He was in 3rd. He's back to 5th now. He's got Travis Eccles and Corey Wakefield. Wakefield doing what he has to do to lock himself into the playoffs. And then you've got behind Wakefield, you got the 22 of Taver Mowry. And behind him, you have the 24 of Joe Neidig. And Brian Cozart. And the 87. They round out your top 10 right there. As Cozart goes to the high side on Joe Neidig. Trying to get around the 24 of Joe Neidig, and he will in turn 1 and 2 there. But Neidig battling back, and you see Wakefield get loose off of 2 and go low. That's going to allow the 22 to get by him, and potentially the 87. The 72 and the 87 almost made contact there in 3 and 4. And again, they almost make contact on the exit of 4. Watching Taver Mowry as he's trying to get up there. You see Colin Forster in the 9, but trying to get back up there as he's working to the inside of Adam Alshire. Last lap, he moved up 2 spots. Currently in that 3rd spot, AJ Green battling back on that high side. Forster, so much stronger on entry than these guys. She's going to be to the inside of the 11, and I believe he's going to have the position as Alshire battles back. They're going to be too wide for 4 rows there. You see the 87 of Cozart. He's moving up too. He's trying to create separation between him and the 16 of Corey Wakefield. They credited Wakefield with the 9th place, Cozart with the 5th place. He's going to lose a spot to Taver Mowry. Well, Cozart battling back. He gets around the 11 of Alshire. So that moves him up a spot. Cozart up to 4th position now. And Forster going after the lead, and he takes it over going into 1. Look back here to Corey Wakefield in the 10th position now. So he's losing spots, and that is not what you want to see. As John Neidig battles back for the race lead. And Forster hangs on. AJ Green gets around him. Cozart gets around him as well, and here comes Tabor Mowry. That's going to push Neidig down to 5th. Here comes Joe Neidig and the 16 of Corey Wakefield, as Wakefield moved up 3 spots that last lap. She's in the 7th position now. I'll make that the 6th spot as he gets around the 33 of John Neidig. As we go and we look at the point standings here, as Neidig continues to fall back, we go and look at the 87 of Kozard, as the 07 and the 9 are battling for the race lead right in front of them. So looking at the season standings, Kozard needs to win, and he takes over the lead here, as he's going to get around Green and Forrester with 10 laps to go, coming to 9 to go now. Kozard the race leader. Forrester 2nd, Mowry 3rd, Green 4th, Neidig 5th, Erickson 6th, Bloom 7th, Pimper is in 8th, John Neidig in 9th, Wakefield back to 10th. Looking at the point standings, Jason Ricketts back in 17th, Del Duke in 16th. That's not going to be enough for Duke to get around him. Rettmeyer in 15th. That's not going to be enough, as Rettmeyer needs 26 points to tie Ricketts. As we have 8 laps remaining. 8 laps to go for Brian Kozard. Can he hang on and win this race and lock himself into the playoffs? He is currently sitting 21st in the point standings, 199 points. He is 38 points back of Jason Ricketts. But if he wins the race, he locks in. As Ricketts is having a very bad run back there in the 17th position. Watching this battle up here, it has playoff contention implications. With Kozard being on the outside looking in, leading the race with 7 to go, coming to the 6 to go now. And he has about a tenth and a half of a second lead over Colin Forrester. AJ Green back up into the 3rd as he gets around Tabor Mowry. Looking back here to the 24 of Joe Neidig. Running in the 6th spot behind Doug Erickson. Trying to make some moves to get up to the front there. But it is Brian Kozard coming to 5 to go now. There's 5 laps remain for Brian Kozard. Can he hang on for the race win? Or does Green and Forrester get around him here? And as I said when we started, we will have to wait until the points get updated, and as soon as we get confirmation and we get told who is locked in, we will let you guys know. 4 laps to go. Kozard doing everything he can to hold off the 9 of Forrester, as he just gets in and he opens up a gap on entry over Forrester. And Forrester closes the gap down the straightaways and off of the corners. But it's not quite enough, as You see here, you see Kaiser, he really opens up a little bit. That time not as much because Forster has the 07 of green behind him. Waiting to see. Well, we got 3 laps to go. You see Taver Mowry trying to get to the inside of the 07. Trying to get a top 3 position here to end out the regular season. But he's got the 46 of Doug Erickson. Erickson has been very strong all day. Coming to get the 2 to go. This time by. Let's see here. We'll go back here to the 24 of Joe Nidick. Austin Bloom battling for the 6th spot there. And Bloom's going to have it at the line. By a nose. Go back up front here to AJ Green, working to the inside of the 9 of Colin Forster. And it's not going to work as Taver Mowry gets back around him. And potentially the 46 of Doug Erickson is going to get around him off of turn number 4 here. Coming to get the white flag. It's going to be Kazard, our race leader. We're going to watch this battle. Does Forster hang on and secure the 2nd spot and block to try to help Kazard here secure himself into the playoffs? Or does he wait until the last minute and make a move? He's not quite close enough. He's within a tenth of a second. Don't know if it's going to be enough, as they're going to be 3 wide for the 2nd spot. Make that 2 wide. Brian Kazard coming to get the checkered flag to win Michigan. And it's going to be Colin Forster 2nd, Taver Mowry in 3rd. And we will get you your unofficial finishing order here. It's going to be Kazard, your race winner. Forster in 2nd. Then you're going to have Mowry in 3rd, Green in 4th, Erickson 5th, Bloom 6th. Joe Nidick battled back from those 2 incidents to come home 7th. Michael Pimper 8th. John Nidick, he battles back to finish 9th. Corey Wakefield 10th. You're going to have Logan Rettmeyer in 11th, Phil Stanhart 12th, Del Duke in 13th, Travis Eccles in 14th, Adam Alshire 15th, Pete Van Sprundle 16th, Jason Rickett 17th, Lance Hill in 18th, Christopher Buds 19th, 14 laps down, Bob Johnson 20th, 19 laps down, Robert Ramsey is 21st, 23 laps down. So looking at the big mover of the night, it is going to be Corey Wakefield up 11 spots from where he started. The Tough Luck Award. Person who had the worst luck here tonight, Robert Ramsey, started 5th, finished 21st. Well, scratch that because he started on pit road. So technically, he started 21st. Pete Van Sprundle was down 10. So we'll throw a toss up there between Ramsey and Van Sprundle. And we will be back with post-race interviews coming up next. All right, and we are joined by our third place finisher, Taver Mallory. And Taver, a heck of a job. You moved up 10 spots from your 13th starting spot, and you really battled all day to get up there into the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, going into that first, I think we went 30 laps almost, 25-ish. I was kind of conserving tires because I honestly thought the race was going to stay green, but knowing how many implications this had for playoffs for drivers, I should have pushed it a little bit harder. I kind of took that knowledge from, we kind of separated in two to 3 packs, and I knew that if I kind of saved again, I'd lose that front pack, and I didn't want to take a chance of us running green after that first caution, so I really started running her hard, kind of backing her in, letting off a little bit, just anything I could do to save tires. And then, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a heck of a battle up there inside the top 5, inside the top 10. I'll even extend it inside the top 10. It was a heck of a battle all day with you guys really fighting hard between each other to get up there, and not just for the top 3, but for every spot on the track here today.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's a track it has a lot of lines you can run. Some are faster than others. Some are better at saving tires. So it makes it interesting. I know at the very end, I think we had 10 laps to where, or I don't even remember how many laps but we had a couple laps to where AJ would get a run on me, and then I'd get a run on AJ. And then luckily at the last kind of sequence, last 2 laps, the sequence kind of ended in my favor. I got up towards the wall. Got up towards the wall, caught the draft of Colin, and kind of stayed there and kind of raced from Colin. And then on that last lap, I tried to do everything I could to get the second or even first. So I'm really happy with it. I'm excited to see how the point standings come out, because there may be some people on the bubble.
Yeah, and the one thing, I mean, you were essentially were locked in, sitting 4th in points coming into tonight. There wasn't anything that you could have done to take yourselves out of the playoffs. So tonight it was just going out there and doing essentially a test and a tune for the playoffs coming up.
Yeah, I had a couple people that I wanted to finish ahead of, so that way I could kind of solidify my spots. Points will be interesting. Like I said, a lot of people finished different spots. Some front runners finished mid-pack. Mid-pack guys finished up top, and somebody that was outside the 16th bubble got the race win. So it's welcome to Midwest Days of Thunder is all I can say.
Absolutely. Now the thing that's that I'm gonna really be looking for is the 15th and the 16th spots in the points. We had one of those 2 drivers had a very rough race, and we had some of the guys that were on the outside looking in had a good race. So it'll be interesting to see how that portion plays out there.
Oh yeah, that's like I said, I'm updating the points now so I can get these guys the points as fast as possible, and I'll be checking the points with a fine-tooth comb. So.
All right, Taver, thanks for your time, buddy, and good job on the race. We'll let you thank your sponsors, get out of here, and get those points done for these guys.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Cali Muscle, because I got that hyphy mud running through my blood, baby. That's all I got.
All right, Taver, thanks for your time, buddy.
Thank you.
We're now joined by Colin Forster. And Colin, you did a heck of a job to hold off AJ Green and Taver Mallory there for the second spot there coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, after last week, I was just trying to help Brian get into the playoffs, and I was trying to keep Taver and AJ behind me because I knew they weren't going to let Brian win.
Yeah, and they're the last the last 10 laps you could really see it, but you were blocking for Brian to make sure that he was able to stay out front, and a couple times you blocked AJ, and then you were blocking Doug Erickson, and just trying to help out a buddy and a fellow racer try to get in for the championship there.
Yeah, I was trying. It's like I wanted to win in my heart, but I knew after last week I just needed to let him win.
Yeah, and talking about your race, I mean, we talked a little bit during the race under one of the cautions, but you had a strong car and all day, and you were up front a majority of it there. So to really to be up there and not only get a top 3 finishing position to really help out. Well, I mean, the points reset now, and the top 16 are going to battle, but really help out your race and wrap up the season here.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good race overall. I was always up front. Had to avoid some wrecks sometimes, and sometimes I was involved in them, but I managed to stay up there, and just happy I managed to get P2.
All right, well, Colin, I'll let you thank your sponsors to get out of here, and congratulations on the top 3 finish here tonight.
All right. Thank you to Sant Racing Fabrication, Simnut Racing Sims, and Butt Kicker.
All right, Colin, thanks for your time, buddy.
All right, thank you.
We've got our race winner, Brian Cossard. And Brian, heck of a job there. With about 40 to go, 30 to go, you were really pushing strong, trying to get up there. And then after the last caution, or the last couple of cautions, you really threw everything you had at it to get up front there.
Yeah, the last caution, I think it's the last one where it was me sending it 3 wide. That was just a racing deal. I'm glad I was able to, me and everybody that's up there that got involved was able to use our fast fares. And then I just threw everything at the wall. I joined Midwest Ace of Thunder about not halfway through the season, but I joined late, and I had to win today to get into the playoffs to start next week. So I just had to throw everything I had at it. Luckily, it stuck, and I'm able to go on next week to Talladega.
Yeah, and the big thing, you had a couple of guys back there, Taver and Colin. Those guys have both been very strong here this season, but they both made the comments that they were just trying to hold all these guys that were a lot faster, hold them back so that you could get up there and win the race, so that you could get into the playoffs there.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of gave it to me, and that's why I'm happy I'm in the playoffs, but I'm not counting this as a win. I feel like off turn 2 with like 5 to go, they could have got loose, but I think they kind of just let me by. Last week, I know you had this broadcast, but last week at Talladega, my former teammate Colin had straight up turned me in the lead at Talladega just by myself. Quarter paneled me, and that was my race done. So maybe that's his way of repaying, because I feel like I had a strong car last week at Talladega. But I'm in the playoffs. I'm just going to look forward to that. Focus on next week. Hopefully get another win and get me a ticket to Atlanta.
Yeah, and that would be a heck of a story. To win back-to-back and lock yourself in for the Final Four. That'd be a really crazy story next week. So anyways, congratulations on the win here and locking yourself into the playoffs. And we'll let you thank your sponsors, get out of here, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Don't really have any sponsors other than the people that help us Minnesota Thunder. And also thank you to Bob Johnson, my new teammate, who had some unfortunate luck. He was kind of spotting me there for the last 10 laps or so, giving me info on where they're running behind me, so I just focus on driving. Because I know I almost messed it up for myself because I got loose with like 2 to go and almost into my own race. But yeah, see everybody next week at Talladega. Hopefully put on another good show.
All right, Brian, thanks for your time and good luck next week, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's going to do it here for the Midwest Days of Thunder. Sans Racing Fabrication, Simnut Racing Sims, Butt Kicker. I want to thank all you guys for tuning in. We do have Talladega next week. It's going to be another fantastic race. We can already throw that out there. It's going to be a great race with these guys. Talladega for 70 laps this week or next week. And then we'll have Bristol and Kentucky before the final race at Atlanta to crown the champion this season. So until next week, stay safe, be careful, do what you guys need to do, take care of yourselves. If you're watching on YouTube, check out Facebook tomorrow. We're going to have a special presentation of the 5 Wide Racing League, their Cup Series tomorrow, as they are at Darlington for a throwback race. So if you like seeing people's takes on cars from the past, tomorrow will be the race to watch with the 5 Wide Racing League. Sunday we'll have 5 Wide again. Monday we're off because of the holiday. And then Thursday we'll have All Out for their championship at Nashville. And then we're back here with the Midwest Days of Thunder next Friday night. It's going to be another great race with them. So tune in for all the racing action this week. And until next time, stay safe, be careful, do what you guys need to do to take care of yourselves. And with racing happening in the real world, dirt and asphalt, make sure you guys are taking extra precautions if you're going out to the tracks and protecting yourselves. And so you can come back here and watch the races. And until next time, have a great rest of your Friday evening. Have a great weekend if I don't see you throughout the rest of the races this weekend. And we will catch you back here next Thursday night.